All right, we're live. Guys, thanks for tuning in. My name's Dr. Dan. I'm a mentor for young teenagers, and we're very lucky today. I do these interviews on a weekly basis almost now, and we're exceptionally lucky today. We're joined today by Salvador Alogo. Salvador has an unbelievably inspiring story, and if you've got 45 minutes, I suggest you listen till the end, 45 minutes or thereabouts, because Salvador has a very unique story. I met Salvador traveling in Finland. He was my taxi driver in Finland. And some people you just meet and you connect with, and Salvador is no exception in this case. Salvador grew up in West Africa in a country called Equatorial Guinea. He currently, and we're going to go into, where he's been and what he's done and his experiences and the difficulties he's been through in his life. He moved to Spain as a young boy and in his adolescence, and now he's living in Finland. So for those of you who are watching, Finland's a very high quality living country. So he's gone from correct me if I'm wrong, Salvador, he's gone from an extremely poverty-stricken country, and he's living in a very nice country now, but that's not the inspirational theme of this story. Salvador's current objective is to become an actor in Hollywood. Now, you hear about people with their pipe dreams and say, I want to become an actor in Hollywood, but this guy's serious. Salvador, thanks for joining us, mate. How are you?
Thank you so much, Daniel. It's a pleasure to be here. And as you mentioned, we met here in Finland a few weeks ago, and as you said, we connected. And that is the reason we are here right now. So I'm very pleased to be here.
Well, when I met you and you told me just a few facts about yourself, I thought, this is a guy where I want to hear your story. And I get a lot out of it. Salvador, how many languages do you speak?
I speak pretty well 4 languages.
Yeah.
And then Spanish is my native one. And then I speak English, Finnish, French, and learning some Italian, because it is quite similar to Spanish.
Well, you're talking Italian, you've got your hands moving.
And then, because I come from Spain, I was raised in Spain. I was born in Equatorial Guinea, as you said, and at the age of 6 years I went to Spain, to Valencia. So there in Valencia we speak Valenciano, which is like Catalonia, like Catalan. So I speak also that.
So they don't speak Spanish in Spain?
Yeah, we speak Spanish, and then depending on the area, like in Valencia we speak Spanish, but also we speak Valenciano. Like that's more for people who are like really like what's the word, like patriots, like patriots, like they feel like this Valencia is my place, so I'm gonna speak our own dialect. Yeah.
Patriotic, absolutely. Salvador, is it common to speak multiple languages in Europe and Northern Europe? Is that a normal thing? Most of these viewers are from Australia. They're not really aware about what goes on in Europe.
I think that, it depends on the country. For example, here in Finland, most people speak between 2 to 3 languages. And then, of course, you have the people who speak 4, 5, and even more languages. But yeah, between 2 and 3 languages, depending on the place.
So why do most people speak 3 languages? In Australia, it's very rare for someone to have a second language. Why is it so in Finland?
Because, for example, Finland used to belong to Sweden.
Yeah.
They have Swedish as an official language as well. So they speak those two.
Yeah.
Those two languages, most people. And then English is a kind of a given because through movies, etc., you learn English.
Yeah.
But actually, where I come from Spain, most people speak just one language, and it depends on the place. If you are from, let's say Valencia, in my case, I come from there. I was raised there, so people from Valencia would speak, or many of them would speak two languages, or one language which is Spanish, and then a dialect, which is Valenciano.
So when you left Equatorial Guinea at 6 years old,
yeah,
how many languages could you speak there?
I spoke Spanish because Equatorial Guinea is the only country in Africa where we speak Spanish as a native language, and then I understood a dialect originally from Guinea, which nowadays I don't speak it, but I can understand some. Okay, so back then I spoke two languages, more or less. Two.
Yeah. So you're 6 years. Yeah.
And that second one nowadays I don't speak it. I understand some, but I don't speak it at all.
Yeah. And why don't you speak it? Is that because you don't use it anymore?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because when I went to Spain, I didn't want to be different than the other guys, and that this was stupid stupid thought that I had in my mind, that I didn't want to speak something different than the other guys didn't speak. So I made the conscious decision back then. I was like a little boy, but I said that I'm not going to speak this.
Yeah.
And and I remember like faking in front of my family, and I was a little boy, but they were speaking to me like in that dialect, which name is fun. Okay, I used to say like, I don't understand, and I was just a little boy, you know.
Cheeky.
Yeah. Yes.
So I want to create some value to the young people watching. You're saying that if you don't use something for a while, you do lose it. So when you were at school and you were learning, say, mathematics or English, does the same go with everything else? Like, I mean, when you're at school, is everything that you learn at school, are you gonna forget it later on down the track? Is it worth, putting in the effort at school to study maths and English and other subjects? What are your thoughts?
I think that it is good to learn as much as possible, because you never know if you will use it or not.
Yeah.
But the situation might come. So if you learn it, you are at school, learn everything you can.
So what about some kid, he's sitting there and he's learning algebra and he says, I am never going to use this again in my entire life. What would you say to him?
There is this, and I just mentioned it 2 days ago, this philosopher, Socrates, who said, knowing doesn't take space in your mind. So just learn it,
Yeah.
And I remember when I was a teenager, I was around 12, 13, 14, I started enjoying learning math. And I promise you, I used to practice on my own, like things that I didn't even get as homework,
Yeah.
Just to work my mind, and I felt great because I was challenging myself. So
Yeah.
algebra, you never know if you'll use it or not.
Yeah.
Because when the day of tomorrow comes, you might get some test.
Yeah. Yeah.
It might be from an employer, or even if it's just if you are a guy, just your girlfriend who asks you a question or shows you something, and you are like, yes, I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you feel great because you know it, because you were on that day and you didn't miss that lesson.
Absolutely. I agree with that. And I think sometimes if you're not sure what you want to do and you think, oh, there's something, I'm never going to use this again in my life. Let's say you apply for a university course after you go to school, or let's say you apply for your job. Even though that you might not use these skills in that degree or in that job, they want to see that you can commit yourself. They want to see that you have the ability to learn new things. And it goes the same with dentistry. I'm a dentist and I never use algebra or anything like that. But I needed to know very complex mathematics at a young age. And I've never used it. But they want to see that you have some degree of the ability to be able to pick things up. Because that's what a workplace is like. That's what university's like. You go there and you've got to adapt to a new environment. And that's what I think true intelligence is. True intelligence is the ability to adapt to a new situation, not necessarily how much you know, because there's an unlimited amount of information in this world and we're never going to know everything. In fact, I think the more that we learn, the more we realize that we don't know. But I just want to ask you a question, Salvador. I mean, you can speak up to, 6 languages. Do you still feel like you've got more capacity in your brain to learn more?
Definitely.
It's amazing, isn't it? Yeah.
I feel like the more you learn, the more you can learn.
Yeah. That's good.
The more languages I know, okay, it becomes easier. I think that because nowadays my mind just creates connections between languages.
Yeah.
You teach me a new word, and I will connect it to another word, even if it doesn't have any relation,
Yeah.
But unconsciously, I have already these rules in my mind.
Yeah, right.
You tell me something and I connect it to this.
Yeah.
And this will help me with remembering that.
Yeah, and that's an amazing lesson. So you're essentially saying that the more you learn, it exponentially goes up. Your ability to learn becomes quicker, and you can retain more information quicker because you have all these other connections in your brain, and they all get to know each other, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're 6 years. So you're 6 years old. Why did you move to Spain?
I moved to Spain because my mother had gone to Spain when I was 4 years old.
Yeah.
And my mother has 4 brothers, and the 4 of them were also, 3 of them actually were in Spain, and the 4th one was somewhere else in Africa. But anyways, I was living in Africa with my grandmother.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my mother called me, and so I went to Spain, and then my grandmother stayed there for a couple of years, and then she followed us.
Yeah. What about your father?
About my father, I don't know him. I didn't know him. I didn't get to know him personally.
Yeah. Have you ever met your father?
Not even for a second.
Yeah. And how does that, the fact that you've never met your father, you're a married man now, you've got a wife in Finland.
That, now when we started talking about this, I got goosebumps, And as a child, I used to lie even about this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
And it isn't that I used to lie. At some point I was lying, but I used to avoid this, talking about my father, because I didn't know him.
Yeah.
I mentioned a typical day at school, Parents' Day, Parents' Day.
Yeah.
And I was always, a few days before that, I was already worrying about that,
Yeah.
And coming up with stories and telling to myself that I didn't care about it, etc. But
Yeah.
it is difficult.
Yeah.
But I think that has given me some power.
Yeah.
Some strength.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
So when you used to lie, what would you say to people? Would you say, "Oh, Dad's not here today," or what?
yeah, exactly. Like my father is abroad, or stories. I don't even remember them, but I just know that I used to say that. Well, my mother might come or by herself, or perhaps my uncle because my father is somewhere, or
Yeah. So have you got kids of your own?
a little boy.
You've got a little boy. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture of him.
Proud, proud parent photo moment. And what's his name?
Vincent Salvador.
Vincent Salvador. So as kids, you know, I mean, every single person in this world has lied. Particularly as a kid. I mean, I do my best not to lie now. Sometimes I tell little white lies. Or not white lies, but sometimes I don't always divulge the complete picture. I don't necessarily think that's the same as lying. But for the kids that are watching, let's say there's a kid that's watching and he doesn't have a dad that's around. Maybe one of his parents have passed away, or like yourself, they just weren't around, or something like that. What would your advice be to them on how to deal with a situation? Like, say they're at school and it's Parents' Day, and they're maybe a little bit embarrassed, a little bit ashamed that one of their parents isn't there, or both of their parents aren't there. What would your advice be to them on how to deal with situations like that?
That situation is what it is, you know, and I don't know if you can hear these like notifications that are coming. Greeting.
It's okay.
Sorry if you.
It's okay.
If they're bothering.
It's okay.
Well, that's something you can change. Acknowledge it and become stronger because of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You have the opportunity to. Yeah, every single thing that happens to us can either kill us or make us stronger.
Yeah.
And you decide. You are the one who decides which one will be the one. You know.
Yeah.
So decide that missing that, the fact that you don't have him there will make you stronger.
Yeah.
Because you consciously want it to be like that.
Yeah. How does that affect your ability to be a father? Do you think about that when you're fathering young Vincent? Do you think about your lack of relationship with your dad as now a father yourself?
I personally, I have in my mind that I want to be a great father, and that doesn't mean that I am already that one, you know, because I'm very strict with myself. Like I continuously analyze how the long way I have, like in order to reach that level where I want to be as a father. Okay, not only as a man, as an actor, as an entrepreneur, etc., but as a father. I think it continuously. And the last time I was analyzing that was today. I took my little boy to the kindergarten, and I made him become a bit upset. And I started thinking, okay, so this is what I did, which made him become upset. My little 4 years and a half, you know,
Yeah.
my little 4 years and a half boy, and I was thinking about that. Okay, what have I done to trigger that? And yeah, and then for tomorrow, I know that this is what I did yesterday. Okay, I have to do it in another way.
Yeah.
So continue with it. And people tell me that I am a great father. I like that they say that, but I'm always saying, well, thank you, but I know that I have a lot to improve towards that, you know, to reach that. And yeah, so not having a father has made me stronger, and now that also have made me want to be a great father.
Yeah. So you moved to Spain when you were 6. How long did you live in Spain for? When did you stop living in Spain, and when did you move from Spain? How old were you then? And then tell me about your experience growing up in Spain. I want you to tell me I want you to tell me some of the things you were telling me the other day. Some of the experiences about your friend that died in a car accident. And I want you to tell me what life was like in Spain compared to Africa. And give me a comparison.
Yeah, as I said, I went to Spain when I was 6 years, and I lived there until I was 23.
Yeah.
And then, like, from 23 to this day, I have lived here. So yeah, I grew in Spain and in Valencia, and I remember when I went to Spain, I used to fight almost every single day. Almost every single day.
So when you say fight, you mean street fight? Yeah.
Yeah, every single day at school. I was a little boy, and I think that back then, at the beginning, and perhaps for a few years, I was the only black guy in the school.
Yeah.
So that didn't cause me it didn't cause me those fights, but I was a little rebel boy, you know. And I like the fact that I was like that, because I believe that in life you have to stand up for yourself and for what you believe, and it isn't about saying like I'm like, it isn't about bullying.
Yeah.
But rather that if they say, I'm a believer, okay? I'm a believer and I believe in God, but I don't believe in, if you slap me, I should pull the other side. No. So, like, defend yourself, stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
For others, of course. Think first, then act. But yeah. So I used to fight a lot at the beginning.
When was your first fight that you got into? How old were you when you had your first like proper kind of fight? A bit of blood, quite scary. Could have been, yeah.
A real fight. Well, fights. I was 7 years, more or less, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
And I even remember that in Guinea. I don't remember those fights, but I remember like fighting already.
Yeah.
I was very rebellious.
Yeah. When was your first street fight? When you're on the street and you think, oh, something could really go wrong here. Like they could have weapons, or someone could possibly. Did you have any times where you were in fear for your life? There was potentially guns or anything like that?
Yeah, at the age of more or less 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, back then I was hanging around with boys who used to steal things, and some guys like selling drugs and
yeah,
like getting into real troubles.
Yeah.
And I always had this feeling, that even though I was doing something bad, I always had that this is not right,
Yeah.
And that thing, I think that thought many times helped me.
Yeah.
With not going farther.
I agree. I got expelled from 3 schools when I was young. I was living on the streets, hanging around with people who used to get into drugs, trouble with the police. I got in lots of fights as well as I was young, but I agree. Mine was the same. I'm very lucky because I feel that I always had that, as you said, I always knew deep down that there was something better. There's something better waiting for us.
Mm-hmm.
So you were the only black guy at your school, is that right?
Yes.
So did you get bullied because of your skin color?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
I know that most of the time I was being attacked. Let's use the word attack, but because of I was different.
Yeah.
I was the only black guy in the school.
Yeah.
And I have like many fights, you know, at school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember we were going to eat, like, let's say, like during the break,
Yeah.
okay, at school, and everything was being set up by the teachers on the tables, etc. And I have this memory, like a very, like vividly in my mind, that a guy threw me yogurt, you know, and I happened to see it and just went down.
Yeah.
And it smashed on the wall. And,
Yeah.
you know, I have in my mind, like, really.
That's quite traumatic. That's very traumatic for a young person to go through. To be the only black person in a school, particularly at that really tender age. I mean, I think the age of, 13, it's the most sensitive age where you really care what people think about you, and it's difficult. And, that's when the bullies come out to play, usually around that age. That must have been really difficult. So, if you were to get, there's kids that I've been dealing with that I've been mentoring for the last few years, and they've experienced bullying, or sometimes they've even been the bullies. What would your advice be to someone, if you were to give yourself advice to that 13-year-old Salvador at school? Someone's just thrown yogurt at him. You're the only guy. You might have no friends at all. You might feel like you have no friends. Give young what's a piece of advice you'd give young Salvador there?
Basically, what I said a while ago, like, is stand up for yourself, for what you believe, or like, don't shut up because others might look stronger, you know?
Yeah.
And they can, like, a few like together in a crew.
Yeah.
Don't. Like, sometimes it is smarter sometimes to run away. I don't want to say that a crew come and you have to be there like, I am the brave. No. Don't be brave, sometimes just run away, you know? I don't know if I told you, like, since I was a little boy, I used to practice martial arts and acrobatics, okay? So I think that thing might have given me confidence over others, and ever since, if I go back, okay, I remember, like, myself training, like, already kicking, watching movies, Bruce Lee's movies, Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies, etc. At the age of 4 or 5 years old.
Yeah.
Before going to Spain, and I used to watch those movies, and at the same time practicing the things they were doing. I was in front of the TV, you know, doing those things. So, and ever since, I've been more or less practicing them, kicks, etc. So that might have given me, as I said, like, some level of confidence.
Yeah.
Which, like, in stressful situations, allow me to be more relaxed. Perhaps not 100%, okay, but more relaxed than the normal person who easily just freeze, or you just get very nervous.
Yeah.
And in those situations, I consciously in my head, I'm saying, like, keep calm.
Yeah.
And I'm breathing, like, slowly, etc. So, yeah.
It's very important to stay calm, isn't it? And relaxed. But it's hard to stay calm if you've never, done a little bit of wrestling or something with someone, or like a brother, or you've never been in a couple of little fights here and there. It's very hard to stay calm because you've never been in that position before. But what you're saying, what really helps, and I've done a few interviews recently with Michael Dent, Terrence English, and others. The advice is very similar to what you're saying. My advice to anyone that's watching, and I'm sure Salvador would agree, is if you're being bullied at school, sometimes it's not easy. You know, you've got kids, they're bigger than you, or there's multiple of them, or they've got older brothers and you've got no one, or you feel like you have no friends. It's very traumatizing and it's very difficult. The best thing that you can do, in my opinion, Salvador, tell me if you agree or not, is start a martial arts. Start, not to necessarily use it, but just to keep your confidence. What bullies don't like is when you're calm and confident and you smile. They try to upset you or put you down and you smile and you walk away and you maintain that confidence. You maintain that confidence. You feel good, you know what I mean? They're not going to get you down.
I totally agree with that. And if we go back to my little boy, in the upcoming weeks, I'm going to take him to already like some lessons, you know, to start some, either is it taekwondo but something like that.
Make sure he doesn't get too strong, mate, or he might, yeah, you might not be able to tell him off. Wait. Oh no, what's happened? Just wait. Something just happened there. Just cut out. Are you there?
Okay.
Yeah, no, everything's still. Yeah, it's all good still. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to take him to start like something like some martial arts, and it isn't for him to be able to kick others or beat others, but as you said, to have that confidence and also like to create discipline and many things, you know. But me as a guy who has been practicing these things for a long time, okay, like with my breaks, etc. But I'm always doing something. I notice the benefits.
Yeah.
You know, like health. You're confident, as we were talking. You are confident. Then you are. It gives you some level of self-discipline. It teaches you, etc., etc. So that's something I truly recommend. Start something.
When bullies pick on you, they see a weakness in you if you're easily rattled, if you're easily shaken by them. They see it as more of a target for them to prod on more, to push on more. They like it. They like to see you scared and to see you confident, proud, to see you with self-esteem. Will deter them from doing it further. So you were 13, 14 years old when you got into your first fight, and you admit to being quite a troubled young individual. You were stealing and stuff like that. Tell me about what happened to your friend, to one of your best friends.
Yeah, that was exactly that happened when I think that I had already turned 14, okay? And I was going, as I said, with these guys with whom I used to steal things, okay? And get into fights, into troubles, like continuously. And I remember this as if it would have happened yesterday, okay? It was late in the evening, around, let's say 12, like 12 to 1, okay? And we were going home, like a few of us, walking, and as usual, okay, yeah, see you tomorrow, bye-bye. And then there was one of these guys with whom we lived nearby, like pretty close to each other, okay? And he came with me because I think that I had borrowed one of his college pants, okay? Some trousers. And he came with me. To pick them, and so I gave them just
continue on. You were your friend's pants.
Yeah, so that happened around when I was 14 years old exactly, and as I said, like this guy came with me to pick up these trousers, and then I gave him the trousers, and we just said to him as like normally, as usually, like see you tomorrow, etc. Tomorrow in the morning, as usual, and he left. And then I remember, like next day I went to school, and wow, now I have goosebumps again. And I remember at school, like people, wow, oh. Yeah, people were. Some people had found out what had happened last night, you know, and that was already like in the newspapers. Okay, that happened around. If we just split that at 1, that happened around 3 in the morning, between 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and
What happened?
so yeah, then I remember that they were saying that there had been a race, a motorbike race, okay, and this is one of the things we used to do. Like we used to ride motorbikes, like in huge ones, like really big ones, and we were teenagers. We didn't have, you can imagine, we didn't have any license, etc. And so yeah, there were racing, and in some traffic light, when there is like the lights were changing, since they were 2 motorbikes, the first one passed, but the second one crashed a car, and that was it. Yeah, I remember that. After that affected a lot. Not only affected me, but all of our friends. And you can imagine there was silence. You know, you didn't want to speak about it, and there was this unconscious thought of, I will see him in a while, you know, I will see them in a while. I'm sure like this evening, this is like a bad joke, let's say, you know, and as the days passed, you of course realize that that this is true. It's actually.
When you think about it now, I know that at the time it would have been one of the most difficult things that you've ever been through in your life. But now, what's your age now, Salvador? How old are you?
31.
When you think about it now as a 31-year-old, are there any positives that you took out of one of your best friends dying in a car accident? Or not?
Yes, that made me think. It made me reflect upon the things I was doing. You know, because right a bit after that, I got into in Spanish is reformatorio. We spoke about this reformatorio. What would be the word like in English?
Yeah, a youth detention center.
Yeah, so I got there as a 14 years old, and I was there for 3 times.
You were in the youth detention center 3 times, were you?
Yes, and the first time was for just 3 months. Okay, but that was, I will always be happy, like, and really grateful because that happened to me, and I truly mean it. You know, I've been thinking it isn't nice being there inside, okay, but it prevented me from getting into more troubles, and so far. That it was in the moment when I really deserved it being there, because I was exactly on the going like everywhere and doing those things. And this friend of mine died, and actually it wasn't just one. There were two of them, you know, because there were two motorbikes, and in each on each one there were two guys. Okay, so those two guys who were in the second motorbike, both of them died, and both of them were like good friends. I used to hang out with, and I say good friends because back then we were good friends, regardless of the fact that we were doing bad things, and I don't blame them for the things I was doing, because they didn't force me to go with them and do those things. Because at the end of all, if you are with someone and that person does something bad, but you are with him and you do something bad, let's say because he invited you to come with me, but you end up doing something bad, blame yourself, because you took yourself there. And that's something many times it isn't easy to accept, but the easiest thing is to blame others. He told me to come with him, or it is you. Always it is you, unless someone is pointing you with a gun and telling you do this, or I will shoot you. Otherwise, it is always you. So I consider them my friends, and I will always be touched because of what happened.
Yeah.
To them, and that taught me back then a great lesson, and that was one of the things that made me think while I was at this center for doing these 3 months. And yeah, so I had many days to reflect, you know. I had a lot of time to reflect, and after, actually, I when I got there, I was supposed to be for much longer, okay, twice as the time, twice as what I was, but because I behaved very well, and I don't remember if I told you this, perhaps I did. I started like thinking a lot, pondering, okay, and I started writing things down. And reading a lot and thinking about the things I was doing. And there was this man who had a conversation with me, and many of the educators there were saying that you're a great guy and you are gifted, etc. And there was this man who took me to a little office, and I exactly remember the place and how we were. And I remember that this man, his name was Pedro, like Pedro Almodovar, the movie director. And he was like a giant, like a big one. Yeah, so, and he took me there to this little office. And that was a bit before I was set up free, you know. And he said like shortly put, he said like you are gifted. You have this gift of that you can speak to people and people want to listen to you. And I've been seeing this since the moment you came in, like because of, and he said that, and he said it like this, and this is something I was saying, I was noticing myself, that many guys used to behave very badly, like very, very badly, and they were listening to me, and they were behaving much better because I was there and talking to them. And I didn't do so much to change that, but they were like just being, let's say, motivated or inspired, and that was great. So he took the time to talk with me, and that's something that every now and then comes back to my mind.
your friend's death, your two friends that died, you're saying that the fact that they died and then you went to the youth detention center, it allowed you to accept responsibility for your actions and remind yourself that no one put a gun to your head, you made the decision and you accept the responsibility. Is that would that be an accurate summary of what you just said?
Yes, I think that was the beginning, like little by little. That was the beginning of me accepting responsibility for the things I was doing. I was doing.
Yeah.
It of course, it isn't. The truth is that it wasn't like from that moment on I've been taking responsibility, but it has been a process.
Yeah.
A process, and that was the beginning of that process.
Yeah.
But nowadays, I see myself all the time as the responsible. You know.
Yeah.
Every single situation. What have I done here to be here where I am?
Yeah.
What have I done in this situation to be? And that's a great thing when you start thinking of this way, because that allows you to grow.
Yeah. It's a very difficult thing to do at 13, 14 years old. I mean, even in my 20s, I've made some massive mistakes in my life. Things I deeply regret. Things I'm embarrassed about. Things I don't like to talk about. And I can think of even times in my 20s. You know, when everything's going good, I take all the credit. But when something's going wrong, I run to one of my parents. I blame it on someone else. I don't accept responsibility. And it's not an easy thing to do when you're 12, 13 years old. It's ridiculously hard. You're just getting to know yourself. So the sooner you can accept responsibility and accept that you were the one that made the decision. That was you. Accept responsibility. Admit it. You might have to take a few steps back. You don't want to take all, I think the reason why people lie and people don't want to accept that they're wrong is because they don't want to take 10 steps back. They don't want to take any steps back. But unfortunately, when you do something wrong, if you just accept responsibility and say, look, I made a mistake, all right, you're going to take one step back. You're not taking as many steps back as what you have to think, but sometimes you have to accept, look, I've got to take a few steps back here. I did the wrong thing, I admit it. And people will forgive you for that. People will be understanding of that, especially when you're young. You can get away with so much when you're young. Life can be quite kind and forgiving to you when you're young. When you get older, it gets a lot harder. But sometimes you need to accept the position that you're in. Say, look, I got myself in this position. Wow, I really did mess up. I'm going to have to take a step back here. Take one step back and just say, okay, I made a mistake. I admit it. I'm so sorry. I'm going to do my best. And I think the sooner you accept that responsibility, the sooner you can progress forward for the rest of your life. And it's, you can do it on a long-term basis. You can do it predictably. And, like when you try and live your life in a lie, or you try to do something that's not right, but you're still trying to move forward, life's going to catch up with you in the end. And it's not sustainable long-term to do something wrong or be dishonest or lie and think that you can go on forever and it's going to be okay. Because one day it will catch up with you. Very hard thing to do very hard thing to accept when you're young, but the sooner you get it, the sooner you can accept that, the better. And people will have mercy on you if you just accept it. If you deny it and run and say, oh, it's his fault, run to your parents to get you out of trouble, run to whoever's looking after you to get you out of trouble. You've just got to accept responsibility and take it on the chin. Your story about your two friends dying, I had a friend when I was 17 years old, spent a Sunday with him, spent a whole weekend with him. I went to school on the Monday. And everyone goes, oh, he's been in a car accident. He's in hospital. I'm like, what? This is one of my best mates. His name's TJ. Now, he was a quadriplegic, couldn't walk from the waist down. Couldn't feel anything from the waist down. Massive wake-up call. These things, sometimes he didn't die, he's still alive. But what these types of incidents do for me is they just make me realise that life's really short, you know what I mean? Like, we're all going to be in a position one day, whether we know it or not, whether we know we're going to die soon or whether it just happens unexpectedly. You know, we've just got to make the most of our lives. And my nana died last year, and it was a real reminder. And I didn't cry too much. I had some moments of crying, but it really motivates me. When someone dies, it's very difficult to take something positive out of it. You got something positive out of your friends dying, you know, and part of that was really reflecting on your own behaviours and accepting responsibility. Amazing thing to do at a young age, by the way. But when people die, what it does for me is it makes me realise I'm going to be in that position one day. That's certain. Not many other things in life are certain, but that's certain. We got to live our life to the absolute maximum. Talk to me. You seem like a really happy guy, Salvador. And when I met you, very bubbly. You know what I mean? I wasn't having a great day that day. It was a little bit flat, but you made me feel really good when I met you. And I thought, wow, is he like this all the time? Tell me, are you really positive and charismatic all the time? Or do you have those down days? You know, people are always on social media. Classic example, people at school watching social media. They see people posting certain lives. Oh, I've got this and that, and my life's so great, I'm so popular. Rah, rah, rah. Are you really happy all the time? Do you have your down moments all the time? Do you ever get times where you doubt yourself? Where you're by yourself and you think, oh, I'm not as happy as what people think? I don't know. Can you answer that for me, Salvador? What do you like?
Of course, I am happy all the... No way. No. I work on myself a lot, okay? But that's the impression every single one has about me.
Yeah.
But I promise you that this is something that I've been told, and I will be still told many times in my life, for sure. But yeah, most of the time, I'm taking myself into the happy state, okay? Or I'm working at it.
Yeah.
So that, okay, if I can choose, because you can always choose, like, do you want to be happy or do you want to be unhappy? Okay? And happy doesn't necessarily mean like smiling all the time, okay? But the impression you had when we met is the impression I want you to get, because that's me, you know? And I prefer to show you I was being me, exactly. It isn't that I was trying to. It is just that, okay, you were like there in my car and I wanted you to be comfortable.
Yeah.
So being myself. And so I'm not always happy, but I'm working at it.
Yeah.
How to be happy.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're in a down stage, when you're feeling, when you said you're not happy all the time, when you are feeling a little bit down, how do you get out of that? What's your advice to a young person that wants to fight depression, or maybe they're in a constant state of depression, or they're down, or they're depressed, or they feel like the whole world's on their shoulders and the whole world's crumbling around them? What's your advice to a young person going through something like that?
This is something we just during the break we had, we mentioned it. One of the things that help a lot, whether you are depressed or wherever you are, is being grateful, thinking about the things that you are grateful for. You know, it doesn't matter where you are, what you are going through right now. Are you happy? If you are happy right now and you think about something you are grateful for, you will feel happy. If you are depressed, just start thinking, what can I be grateful for right now? What do I have in my life? Where I am in my life that I can say, just, you know, this ceiling, you know, the fact that I'm here, we are like sharing this moment. These are things I can be grateful for, you know. we are living in a time that you are in Australia, I'm in Finland. Like, you know, we are like this. We are really close. So these are the things that we can be grateful for. Here I'm with my dog. You can't see him, but I'm grateful for him. You know.
Show me your dog. Show me your dog. Get your dog on the screen. Show me your dog.
Here it is.
Oh, what's his name? Bring his What's his name?
Peter.
Peter. You can be grateful for Peter.
He's 13 years old.
Wow.
A very sporty guy. We run almost every single day.
Really?
Yeah. Hola. He's a Spanish guy.
Wow.
Sometimes he drinks a bit of beer or
really?
or red wine. I'm just kidding. Come on.
Yeah.
He's a Spanish guy, you know.
Yeah.
But he's a reason to be grateful for.
Yeah.
He's a great companion.
Yeah.
Well, I have a cup of coffee here. This is something I can be grateful for.
Yeah.
You know, like, so if you're depressed, this is what I have found out about myself, okay? About myself, and when I talk with others. When you are depressed, it's because you are in a rat of like thoughts, okay?
Yeah.
You are always like going through the same thoughts all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it isn't easy to get out from there because it is a habit. And because it is a habit, you then have to work on leaving that habit and getting another one that can replace that. So it takes a while. But if you're depressed, you can get out of it like much faster than you think. And it starts by just thinking about, okay, now I'm focusing on these things that don't help me at all. What can I be grateful for? And anytime that you find yourself like, now I'm thinking again about these things, okay, think about this. You know, the fact, this is something I love, okay? Many people complain about the rainy days.
Yeah. Yeah.
And ever since I was a little boy, I've been enjoying like the rainy days. I enjoy any kind of weather, okay?
Yeah.
And so when it is a rainy day, I see it as it is just water. You know, it is just water, and you will get dry. You know, it will dry. So when it is raining, you feel more alive because when there is this contact between those drops in your skin, that's something I promise you that I think about those things. Oh yeah, I'm alive. You know, the fact that I can feel this is I'm grateful for that. You know, reasons to be grateful for. I can see you, Daniel. I can see you. You know, I can hear you. We can talk. So many things. You know, we can walk. So think about those simple things that we take for granted.
I totally agree with what you're saying. I totally agree. And I think particularly for young people, it's easy to get caught up in day-to-day issues. And our brains get addicted to thinking about negative things, and they sit there and they stew on negative things, even something that might be so small, but they seem so big in our brain. Well, sometimes we even know it. We think, geez, this is stupid. Why am I thinking about it all the time? And a question like, first thing we need to ask, are these issues, are they can we control these issues? Like, what are the things we're worried about? Write them down. Can I control them? If you can't control them, then you need to learn to accept them and find other things in your life to be grateful for. Something that I do every day is I do what's called positive affirmations. I sit down and I actually record it now and I post it on my YouTube channel and stuff. But I sit down and I say positive things and I talk about why I'm grateful. And they're exactly what you're saying. It's the detail. It's the little things in life. The ability to have two hands and two legs. The be able to talk. We have our youth. We're young. You know what I mean? We're in beautiful countries. Think about these things. You know, try and get up every day. And if you do battle with depression or you do have your down moments, which almost everyone does, is try and pick 3 things that you're grateful for every day. We live in a beautiful country. I mean, I could list 15 right now off the top of my head. We live in a good country. You know, we've got access to clean water, like food, a blanket, a bed, education, healthcare. I mean, it's just endless. You know what I mean? Clean air. We've got two arms, 2 legs. You know, if we've got one family member or one friend, I mean, that's huge. Some people don't have any family members or friends. So if we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 friends, there's 5 things to be grateful for. There's so much to be grateful for. Now, in terms of habits of your brain, getting yourself into those ruts, I'm not saying I'm perfect at this. I have down times too. You know, I definitely still do. But I just go back to these basic fundamentals. Be grateful. Have gratitude. Be grateful for the moment. I'm so lucky. Tell yourself you're lucky. You know you're lucky. Remind yourself why you're lucky. And what actually happens over time with these bad habits of thinking in that downward spiraling manner is that when you do it consistently, your brain gets better at it. It's like going to the gym. Your muscles get bigger and better and stronger over time, and it's the same with your brain. You actually learn to rewire your brain over time. It's no mystery why really successful people that start companies or that are wealthy, they say that if all the money in the world was equally distributed, it would end up in the same hands again after a while. Because the top, I think, 50% of the world's wealth is in, I think it's the top 2% of people, and it's the same thing. You equal it distributed, you distribute it equally, and it flows back into those same hands. There's a reason why, because there's certain characteristic traits. Positivity, number 1. Positivity all day. I can do this. These are the types of things that you can actually train your brain to do them, I believe, because I've gotten better at doing stuff like this over the years. And what starts off as, all right, I'm aware of it now. I have to do this. I'm getting depressed now. I have to think positive. I have to pick 3 things I'm grateful for. At the start, you're aware of it. And and then over time, you get better at doing it, and you're not even aware that you're doing it. So it becomes second nature. It's like your muscles. You train your brain. So that would be my advice, particularly to young people. I mean, if you can just take out the last 10 minutes of what me and Salvador have talked about trying to battle with depression and negative thoughts, getting bullied, those things. If you can do that at a young age, 13, 14, 16, 18, 40 years old, it doesn't matter. If you can listen to what we just said and do it, if you're not already doing it, your life is going to elevate to another level. And when you start thinking like that, that's when you start doing what Salvador's doing right now. The boy from Equatorial Guinea is now on his way to becoming a Hollywood actor. He's got big dreams. And to have big dreams, you got to think like that. To dream big and do big, your mind is your best friend and it's your worst enemy. Make it your best friend, and whatever it is you want in your life, you can get.
There is this, it is a saying, I'm sure like these are now my words, but it is, you get the message. You can't choose where you are born, okay? Where you were born, you can choose it.
Yeah.
But you can choose where to go.
Yeah.
Where you will end up.
Yeah.
And the thing is that if you have an aim, if you aim for something, you can either get there or get on the way, like towards that aim. And it is the same thing, like with just the thoughts. We were talking about right now. direction circle towards that place, only upwards.
I'm feeling good, mate. I'm feeling really good right now. So, you went to school in Spain. You had some very, you're in a detention center. You were picked on. You used to get into street fights every day. Your two really good friends died. You were in a really dark place. What age was it where you made the turnaround, where you made the flip, and you said, all right, that's it. I can't control my past. I don't regret my past. I've had a great past, but I'm a new Salvador now. This is a new me. I'm going places. I'm going to Hollywood. When did that dreaming big, that undisputed self-belief, what age were you when that happened?
I think that I have always dreamed big, but I haven't always been listening to myself, because I think that there is this, you have your dreams and you have to listen to them.
Yeah.
You can have them and not listen to them, so then you end up elsewhere.
Yeah.
And I told you that, I think that I told you, I'm not sure. I started acting by accident, let's say, by accident more or less, okay? But since I was a child, I used to think already about acting and becoming an actor and being like on TV, etc. And right a bit before coming to Finland, a bit before moving to Finland, I saw a friend like after a very long time, and he was in a play, in a great play, Hamlet.
Yeah.
And the name was Hamlet, this Shakespeare's play, and he asked me if I would like to act, etc. So let's make this long story short. I said that I was interested. The very next day, I went to see the director of the play. He tested me. He liked me. Suddenly I was part of that play. Okay, and there was only 2 weeks to the premiere. So, and I had a huge role, like the King Claudius, like like Hamlet's father's brother, the one who killed his brother to become the king. Okay, so I had that role, and I had a huge monologue to learn, not only to learn to speak it, but to act it, etc. So during 2 weeks that I had, okay, every single day I was there at the trainings, at the rehearsals at the University of Valencia, and at the Shakespeare Foundation of Valencia, okay, and I was every single day there, like training with the other ones, like enjoying every single second. I promise you, like, I remember that thing as well. It was beautiful. So during 2 weeks, I was all the time practicing, either with them during the rehearsals, or then by myself at home. I remember, like, in the shower, shouting my lines, saying this, like, next to my grandmother, with my friends, hanging around and just telling these lines, and they were like, oh, again, because I was all the time like, sucios mi delito, like in Spanish, yeah. So, yeah, and then the day of the premiere came, actually the night of the premiere came. It was like, the place was beautiful, like a middle-aged castle, like a real castle, from was it like 600, like the 6th or 7th century, more or less, okay, more or less. And there in Valencia, in a little place called Peñíscola, beautiful, by the sea at night, and that play was at the top, like the roof, okay, like the top, and there was a huge moon. I promise you, like, I'm telling this, and every single time when I tell this story, I'm like in heaven, because everything started from that single moment, and that was beautiful. And I remember like, goosebumps again, you know. The first time I was in that castle, I was a little boy with my school, you know, the first school I was in Valencia, and we were like we had an excursion like for one day, and we were at that castle. So the second time was me, wow, now my skin is like goosebumps, you know. So the second time was me acting there, and that was beautiful. So that was my first contact with acting, and then a bit after that I moved to Finland with my wife, and by accident, more or less, I started acting here again. I was thinking about it, but I mean like by accident, because suddenly a friend of my wife told us that she has seen some advertisement that they were looking for actors, dancers, singers, etc. for a musical. So I started here in Finland again, and with that musical we were like running that musical for 3 years. And during those 3 years I was doing that acting and dancing in that musical, and then I started doing different projects like commercials, a lot of commercials, TV series, theater of course, etc. And now I told you that I'm traveling already on Sunday. I'm going to Turkey to Alanya because we are filming a TV series. We have finished with the part of Finland. The Finland's filming has been shot already, and now we are there in Turkey. So part of the team is already there filming, and me, I'm going on Sunday, and it is great, you know, like to be able to travel through my dream, you know, that's amazing. That's amazing to me.
It's an amazing story. I mean, you're 31 years young. You're the boy from West Africa.
Mm-hmm.
You were born in West Africa, and now you're traveling and acting, and you're young. You've got a perfectly primed brain, and you've got big dreams and big goals, and that's healthy. It's imperative for us to live a meaningful life is to have goals, and ideally meaningful goals that mean a lot to us, where we satisfy a dream, we set the bar high, you know, or we help others, or all of the above. You've made a massive transformation from a boy that was in detention centers in Spain that used to get into fights every day and commit petty crimes. You're an absolute success. And anyone that watches this or knows you and knows your story or part of your story is inspired like me. And yeah, I mean, it's an honor to be speaking to you at the moment, mate. And so what are your plans? What are Salvador's plans from now to become an actor in Hollywood? Have you got a concrete plan written down? Let's talk about goal setting. Let's talk about scheduling. Let's talk about what you do at the moment to get to where you want to go, and how the kids that are watching this can use those with their own goals. Tell me about your habits. Tell me about your disciplines.
I think that now I have to go back to what I said about my little boy and me as a father. Okay, I'm becoming more strict with myself, and you asked about my habits and my schedules. I think that I can improve them a lot. You know, a lot, like big time, big time. Like I have good habits. Like some of them are good habits, many of them are not. And this is the thing, to realize which ones are not good, so that you can trade them for better ones. Mm-hmm. And the good ones I have is that I know what I am aiming for, So I do think about that all the time, but no, I don't only think, but I consciously, let's say, in terms of acting, I connect with people in that circle, okay?
Yeah.
Like, either because I am now filming this TV series, or because of the previous projects I've been part of, so that every now and then I'm in touch with someone. And fortunately, thanks to all of the things I've done already, I get calls. And most in the last 3 years, I think that I told you this. In the last 3 years, every single project I have been part of has been through a call, an email. Like I haven't deliberately I haven't applied for a thing. But when I started, I was applying all the time, like crazy. I used to go to sleep, let's say, at 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, because I was writing applications, like CVs, like sending here, there, like crazy. And like all the time. And I was like all the time sending CVs, applications, like to different people, different agencies, etc. And looking for, like in social media, for projects, castings, etc. And yeah, and that was one of the great habits I had when I started. And I had those habits for a long time. But I think that I got relaxed because they started contacting me a lot.
Yeah.
Because of the things I was doing. And this is a great thing. Do hassle, okay? Because eventually they will start calling you back.
Yeah.
You will do some projects, and by doing them well, okay, they will contact you back. Someone will contact you back, because now I do this with Daniel, okay, now we film this, and someone I've been working with will tell another guy that actually I had this. When they are looking for someone, I did this project with this guy, and he was amazing. He was like, with all the crew, he was behaving like, helping to everyone, doing things that he didn't even have to do, like etc. So being there and doing more than you are required to do,
Yep.
even if it's a little bit. So that's a habit, or it is a mindset, or you want to do more than you are required.
Do you get money? Do you get money for going to Turkey and do you get paid for it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So you've got a kid at the moment, and you've got things you have to pay for at the moment. You've got mouths, not only your own mouth, but you've got other mouths you want to feed. Now you've got this dream to become a Hollywood actor. Fantastic, amazing to have those dreams. And you're getting paid now for doing that acting, which is amazing. I mean, you're getting paid to do what you love. It's awesome. But let's say that there's someone watching this and they're 13 years old and they want to become a football star. Now, for every 10,000 people, it's their wildest dream to be a football star. Only 5 make it. 1 make it. Right? Is it good to have a backup plan? Is it, like some people commit their whole lives to becoming a Hollywood actor and some of them never make it. And they go to Hollywood, they spend all their money, Hollywood takes all their money and kicks them back out on their ass, and then they're back to nothing. How do you have a backup plan? Well, you're getting paid now, so you don't really have to. But is it good to have a backup plan? Tell me about your taxis.
We met in a taxi, exactly as you just mentioned, and your previous question was about my goals and how do I have, which plans have I made in order for me to get to Hollywood. Okay, so the taxi thing, and this is something. Before I started driving taxis, okay, I was working in Zara, this Zara, Massimo Dutti, Zara, Osho, etc.
So what is it? It's a fashion store?
Yeah, I will, just a second. I might have something. Well, anyways, I will show you a logo. But Zara, Z-A-R-A.
Yep. I'll just just clarifying it for the viewers.
Yeah, I was working there for about 2.5 years, okay? And actually, that was one of my little dreams, okay? Because that's a Spanish brand, but it is one of the most successful, like, worldwide brands in the world, you know? And I used to think that, wow, as a teenager, it would be cool, very cool to be working in Zara, you know? So suddenly I found myself here in Finland working in Zara. So I felt like, wow, my dream has come true. Like that little dream of that teenager's dream has come true.
Yeah.
Okay. But at some point I was getting acting projects, but I couldn't take them because of the schedules. Since you are working in a store, you have this schedule, okay? Either you start in the morning when the store opens, or half an hour before, and then you finish at 4 or 5 or 6 in the afternoon, or you start around, let's say, 12, and you finish at 8 in the evening, okay? So because of those schedules, I couldn't many times accept projects I was interested about, you know? I used to get calls because in the acting world, sometimes you get projects for the next month, for let's say within 3 months you will start that project, but sometimes you just get a call like for tomorrow or today. Are you available today? Or even for yesterday. Are you available yesterday? This is just kidding, but yeah, you get the point. Like suddenly, and when you are with such schedules, you don't have the freedom to, as an actor, to say I'm all in. So many times I had to hassle, asking this manager and that one, and sometimes it was possible to go to embrace those projects, but most of the time it wasn't possible. So it took me about 2.5 years to dare to say that now, okay, I enjoyed this at the beginning, being here as a sales clerk, but this is not helping my dream, you know?
Yeah.
And then, so I quit, and I started thinking, okay, before quitting, I was thinking, like, what could I do before quitting? What could I start doing, like half-time or, like, as my other job? And I thought about starting a company, private company, like, and when I think about this driving company, like private driving company, private transporting company.
Yeah.
But anyway, I suddenly thought about, as a taxi driver, I could actually have freedom, more or less. I didn't know how it goes, really. So I had an interview, and the first thing I said in that interview was, I am an actor, and I would like to ask you about, I want to work with you, but I want you to understand that I am an actor, and many times I get offers for even, like, at worst for the same day. And I remember, like, this guy told me, I love the fact that you have dreams, and here in our company we encourage people to go for what they believe. So definitely come with us, and you're welcome. Anytime you have an offer, just let me know. You are free to take it.
Yeah.
And ever since I started driving taxis, and I was thinking, okay, I want, even though I have this freedom, I want to be an entrepreneur. So this is a franchise where this taxi firm is a franchise. And yesterday is when I was able to already send some papers. So I'm starting right now as an entrepreneur in this franchise. And this is, I don't want to call it my backup plan, okay? But I saw a documentary about, this is one of my idols. You might have heard about him. Is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I don't know well, yeah.
Maybe.
So,
Yeah, of course.
maybe sayonara, baby.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I watched this documentary about him, and as you all know, as you know, he first made it big in bodybuilding, and after that, from bodybuilding, he jumped into acting. Okay, but when he started acting, he realized that many times he would be offered, like, let's say, not such good projects. Okay, so he started doing business,
Yeah.
and he started like studying business and doing business with, among others, Joe Waiter, who was the one who brought him to the States. Okay, and so he started doing business in order for him to be able to decide when or what kind of projects he would accept, like, not so that he wouldn't be desperate to take any project because of money. Okay, so that's something I have learned through Arnold, and that's why I started now in business. Okay, to be able to take care of the economical part, like, to really hustle a bit. Okay, so that I know that now I'm filming this TV series that I just told you, but exactly last week I had a gathering, okay, and I'm starting in a new project. It is for a short film, okay, and I'm the main actor in that short film. And the thing is that the point, this is the inspiration I got from this documentary. And actually, I read also a book I recommend you about the biography of Arnold, Total Recall, My Unbelievably True Life Story. I truly recommend that book.
Okay.
It is a huge book. I promise you that you really like this. So fast, you don't even notice that it is 600 pages. You know?
Yeah.
600 pages. It is amazing. So through those two things, his biography I read and this documentary, I got this inspiration. Like, I take care of my business so that I can really influence in the projects I want to get into.
Yeah.
So we can call it backup plan, or we can call it that I want to be, like, from now on until I will die someday, I want to be in business.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I believe in capitalism.
Yeah. Yeah, me too. Having multiple income streams and not putting all your eggs in one basket. I mean, this is what I'm doing right now. You know, I'm a dentist. I've got my own dental surgery. You know, I'm never going to talk about how much I earn, but you know, I do this because I want to. I don't have to do this, and it's a great position to be in. And yeah, it's just good to, as you said, you know, like, you can choose what you want to do. You know, you don't have to do a certain, if there's an acting project that could potentially, not that I don't know if it would, but that could potentially hurt your career, you don't have to do it. You don't have to go and be a porn star to put money on the table. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Some people do it. There's some bodybuilders out there, and it's hurt their political their politically correct image because they've had to do things to put money on the table. And it's quite, so.
Back to the fact that you have your own business. I told you when we met that you inspired me. You know, you're a young guy, already like doctor with your own business, and that's something that inspired me, as I told you, and it inspires me right now. You know.
Thanks, man.
And it will continue doing it.
Thanks. Well, you inspire me. I mean, you inspire me a lot. I mean, it's really exciting. I'm so excited for you. So, your recommendation is, yeah, possibly it's a good idea to have a little bit of a side hustle or a bit of income coming in on the side or a bit of a backup plan, as you want to call it. And so for a kid that's going for a job that's 13 or 14 years old, you said before with your acting applications you would hassle them and hassle them and hassle them. Would that be your same advice to a 13, 14, 15, 18-year-old going for a job or going for a course at a university? Hassle? Hassle.
Yeah, definitely.
When do you stop hassling?
I think that I don't hassle enough.
Yeah.
And every single day I want to do it more. You know? I want to do it more and more and more. If I told you how much I was driving, I started yesterday driving, but you don't want to know how much I have slept. But I slept very little.
Yeah.
Okay? Because I had some numbers in my mind I wanted to reach, and I did reach them. But it isn't. But of course, first I want to also emphasize this, that I'm driving and I have people with me, and I'm responsible for their lives while I'm driving. So I have to be very focused all the time. Okay, not just get blinded by I have to reach these numbers and I'm getting tired and I still continue driving, because that's something that happens also easily in a profession like this, when you are driving a lot and you sometimes overdo it and feel tired and you start feeling so tired. So it isn't about going to those extremes, but in some works you can go to the extreme of falling asleep, but you don't have any there is no danger in terms of people who could die because of you. So
Yeah.
that's you know.
Yeah.
But if you are sitting in the computer, you are doing something, so you can get tired and just fall asleep.
Yeah.
That's another thing. But yeah, hassle. You want to become an actor, and I still have to hassle a lot to get to Hollywood, as you can imagine.
At what point do you stop though? Do they, let's say you hassle them every day, or you email them every day, or you're going for a job every day. At what point do you say, I better not keep hassling? Or should I just say, Salvador told me to keep hassling, so I'm just going to keep hassling until they give me the position?
If you really want it, do it. For as long as you feel like, I want this,
Yeah.
I truly want this. If you want it, you may have sometimes some breaks, meaning you are hassling, and then you suddenly have okay, I don't know. Okay, we all have those moments. I don't know, will I get this? So during this moment, okay, you are a bit down, but then go back. And this is the thing. I was talking with my mother today. While I was talking with her, and we were talking about when sometimes you are sad. We are human. And sometimes you are sad. But the trick is, when you are sad or depressed, make that moment as short as possible.
Yeah.
So that you make yourself get up, stand up as soon as possible.
Yeah.
You find yourself really down, but what the hell? Okay, yeah, I'm sad because of this. Okay, yeah, you think about it and start focusing on, okay, I acknowledge this, but this doesn't help me.
Yeah.
What can I learn from this? Okay, yeah, I can learn this right now. Okay, but yeah, now up.
Yeah.
As soon as possible.
Amazing advice.
Sometimes you get those low moments and then up again.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you were doing something.
Awesome. Well, Salvador, I really appreciate your time, mate. I think that wraps things up for tonight. Is there any last message that you want to give out to anyone that's viewing? Is there anything you want to say before we wrap things up?
Yeah, just believe in yourself. Believe fetched, no? Far-fetching. Anyways, believe in yourself and don't listen to, you can listen to the non-sayers, okay? Because they can give you some strength, you know, the feeling of, okay, you don't believe in myself? I even like that, you know? Because as they say, like, the best, the best vengeance is massive success. Believe in yourself.
Fantastic. Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Dr. Daniel, I promise you I enjoyed this a lot, and in a few months, latest in a year, I would like us to make a second episode, and see what kind of troubles we have overcome.
Totally. No, we'll do it for sure. Salvador Alogo, if there's anyone interested in following you or finding you or contacting you, is there a place that they can contact you?
Yes, you can find me on Instagram, and my name on Instagram is Alogo. SALVAALOGO.
Yeah, that's on Instagram. Yep.
Yeah, on Facebook, Salvador Alogo, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah. So just for people that want to hear me spell it for Facebook, Salvador, that's SALVADOR space ALOGO. So that's if you want to find Salvador. Guys, if you want any updates on, if you want daily motivational clips, meditating, I'm running a program in November to help, deal with bullies and stuff like that in Tasmania. Go to drdancraig.com. That's DOCTOR dancraig.com. You can find me on Facebook as well. I've got Instagram as well. I've got a fantastic team that helps me distribute content. And I've got a fantastic team as well that helps film and do cinematography for motivational clips. I feel great. We're very lucky to have Salvador helping us out today. He's a busy man. He's a busy father. I just want to say thanks again, Salvador, and we'll talk to you soon, mate.
Mr. Daniel, Dr. Daniel, I enjoyed it a lot, okay? I enjoyed it greatly, and I'm looking forward to the next session, okay?
Thanks, mate.
Yes, take care.
Thanks, brother. Bye-bye.